and welcome to my channel. It has been quite some time since I've been able to do any sort of reviews or any kind of costuming thing, so I'd really like to try to revitalize that by bringing you guys something really cool. And what I have in front of me is really cool. This is the Socom Gear M200 Intervention Shell Ejecting in 6mm. I purchased this from Andy's Airsoft. Their website is absolutely amazing. They're a Canadian retailer. So if you're looking for something in Canada, they definitely might have what you're looking for, and if they don't, they might know where to find it. The scope, this is a Victor Optics 6-24 by 50mm scope from Division XP. Again, lots of really cool products on their website, so if you're looking for something, I would highly recommend it. They are awesome. So again, it's been a while since I've done some sort of video review, so I'm trying to do something a little bit more freeform. To see if I can't get something going. I've got a lot of products that I've collected over the years that I'm hoping that I'd be able to do more videos like this. So if you like it, make sure you like and comment and just tell me what you guys want to see or want to see changed in the future. So getting to the rifle, this rifle comes in a large case. The only thing I wish that this case had was a little bit more depth so that you'd be able to actually put the rifle in the case with its scope on it. Unfortunately, that's not the case, and you have to take the scope off when you're transporting it to and from wherever you're going to be keeping it. A lot of people display these rifles anyway, so it might not be something they have to worry about. I really want to game this rifle and see if I can actually hit somebody with it. So look out for that if you guys are interested. Going through the bog standard from the front all the way to the back, we'll start with the muzzle device here. This came painted in almost a lacquer orange, which was very hard to remove. Basically every single screw or part on this gun was held on with Loctite, and it was incredibly difficult to remove this piece here. It was actually so difficult to remove that I ended up bending one of my punches trying to reef on it using heat and all that other stuff. It helped, but it definitely was brute force that ended up winning the day. The outer barrel here, it's all aluminum, and going back to about maybe here is this fluted barrel where the magic actually happens in this gun. It's a version 2, I would say, version of this gun. So there are some party tricks that this one has that the older versions didn't. There's a hole here on the top and on the bottom where there's a fill valve, and inside there's a pressure cylinder that when actuated will push a plunger back into your shoulder for a little bit of felt recoil. Something that I found was insanely really unique for a bolt action rifle. Usually you won't get too many that have recoil. This one does, which is awesome. The bolt here, it's a fluted style bolt. It is insanely smooth, and I'll rack the action here just so I can show you guys the shell ejecting feature. But it's super cool. So when you pull it all the way back, it's going to expose one of the shells. You push it forward, lock it down, and when you pull the trigger, you get that recoil, and there's a lot of gas going out the front. This thing is currently filled up with red gas, which punches out about 2 joules, which is right at our field limits. It is winter here in Nova Scotia right now, so it's going to be a while before I'm actually able to game this, but we will see when it comes time to that. So once you've fired, you lift up the bolt, and then you can pull it back and eject the casing, which is awesome. The magazine holds 7 rounds. It only comes with 5, however, and finding these specific 6mm shells is insanely impossible, especially here in Canada, because I have found them. However, every retailer that I've found, they won't ship to Canada, which is insanely ridiculous. There is nothing in this that would stop at the customs, so I wish that they would update some of their policies and allow us to actually bring some of these things in, because right now the only option I have is I'm going to be bringing in a couple 8mm shells and seeing if I can't convert them in some way to hold the 6mm BBs to be able to actually use this rifle effectively. So with that being said, going back to the rifle, it's still really cool even if finding the shells is really difficult. And one of the things I found that was really important to me was the fact that all of the wearing components in the receiver, they're all steel. So this rifle is going to have that lifespan that you're going to want, especially at this rifle's very expensive price point. There are a couple things that I wish were a little bit better about this rifle. One of them being the coating that they used on it. For how expensive this rifle is, the coating just kind of scrapes off extremely easy, especially right here where the bipod is. If you move it on this part of the forward end here, it's going to scratch it, which is a bit of a shame. I mean, if it's a sniper rifle, if you really wanted to, you could paint it, do whatever you need to fix that. Another thing that I kind of wish they would have thought of is the bipod. If you extend it too far, the leg just pops out. There's nothing holding it in place, so you kind of have to pay attention when you're using that part of the rifle to make sure that you don't extend it too far, or you're going to have a bit of a struggle. So that about covers the externals of this, and I really hope that you guys stick around for some of the internals, because there is a lot of really cool things about the inside of this gun that we could talk about, mostly having to do with this from about the front of the receiver to the end of the barrel. So we'll get into some of the internals, and then we'll come back and we will wrap everything up. Alright, I just wanted to go over a little bit on the M200's internals. This is something that I found was very unique when I actually got my hands on the rifle and decided I want to take it apart, because I really wanted to see what made this rifle tick. There were some things that I was really surprised about, by the fact that, first off, this is the recoil mass. It's a huge steel piston that fits inside the inner barrel, which almost has like a airsoft M203 grenade inside, that when activated by a plunger inside of the chamber, pushes the piston back into your shoulder, giving you a great felt recoil impulse. The chamber, on the other hand, this is the one that the cartridges go inside, also steel. The rod that pushes the plunger, steel. And the inner barrel. This is actually one of the things that I was actually really surprised about. Actually, no, before I go to the inner barrel, let's talk about the hop-up unit. Hop-up unit is a TDC style hop-up unit made of steel, which is absolutely insane. A lot of these are usually made of aluminum, so you don't find that too often, but on a rifle that costs as much as this one, it kind of makes sense. Probably the biggest surprise out of the whole thing, though, is the inner barrel. It's a 650mm Type bore, Black Python version 2 inner barrel, which is the exact same barrel that you would find in the older Socom Gear M200 AEGs. So this is a highly upgradable part that you'll be able to find basically anywhere. It's the same as the PSG-1. It also gives you the opportunity to upgrade your hop-up unit if you wanted to install an R-hop or any kind of other aftermarket accessories. The lower receiver, or correction, the receiver group, is a chunky aluminum receiver. All of the actual wearing components are all steel, so your stock retract, your bolt lock, and your the trunnion lock for the barrel, all steel. Again, inside, this is actually one of the things that was very hard to find any information on, and I wasn't able to figure it out until I actually got my hands on it. The actual trigger inside, all steel, so you're not going to have to worry too much about that in your use of this rifle. Another thing, your bolt, huge. It is completely made of steel, and so that is something that you won't find too often. It is heavy, and just for comparison's sake, I also brought a KJW M700 bolt so that you can see just how big these two are when put next to one another. That about covers it for the internals of this rifle, and something that I thought was really unique, and I wanted to make sure that I could get out to make sure that people who were interested in this rifle could get a look at. Okay, so now that the internals are out of the way, what exactly do I think about this rifle? I mean, I haven't had a chance to bring it out to game it yet. This rifle is insanely heavy, so it's going to be difficult to game when I do, and with the shells being really hard to find, it kind of is a bit of a knock on this otherwise absolutely insane platform. But I don't really care. This rifle is insane to look at, and I think it's going to really turn a lot of heads when I bring it out to airsoft games. The recoil and everything, when everybody shoots it, they're going to love it. The TDC part of it is awesome, so especially with the AEG spec inner barrel and AEG spec rubber, so you're going to be able to have that a little bit of upgradability if you need to. So there's going to be lots of that kind of components, like the pressure and the accuracy parts. There are going to be upgrades for it that you're going to be able to put into it. The steel components in the receiver, that is awesome. So you're going to be able to keep this rifle in working condition for a very long time, which I can't stress enough. Definitely needed to get out there so that people who might be interested in this rifle, but they don't know if it's going to last for them, this rifle should last. It should stay in shape for the most part. Again, the finish on it, I would say it's subpar. It could be better, especially with the price that you're paying for it. It would be nice if there was a little bit more depth to the amount of coating that they put on it, or maybe even going so far as to have it Cerakoted, which this is definitely not. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little sneak peek, little look into this rifle. I'm really looking forward to being able to bring it out to games and let people take a look at it, because I know for a lot of people this rifle is going to be out of a lot of people's reach. So I'd like to be able to bring that out and have that part of it be kind of a moot point. So that out of the way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you like and comment. Tell me what kind of rifle you'd like to see me do next. I have quite a few rifles in my collection. Kar 98s, bolt actions, like of different flavors. I have light machine guns and a few GBBRs that I'd like to show you guys in the near future. But that's it for me. I hope you guys have an awesome day. And again, this has been the Socom Gear M200 intervention.